Hi, hello, and welcome, stream. Hope everyone is having a fantastic hump day, Wednesday, afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you may be. How are we doing today? It has been quite the week and quite the day for me. Very busy at work, very stressful at work, and I made the very foolish decision to go rock climbing yesterday. I said, you know what? I have back and biceps at the gym tomorrow, but it's okay. As long as I go easy at rock climbing, it should be just fine. It was not just fine. It fucking sucked. I could hardly grip the dumbbells, and I was trying to do my barbell rows, and I was like, "Hello, excuse me, why can't my body function?" But it's been a rough one, but it's okay. We are here. It's going to be a enjoyable stream. We're trying something new. This is something that I intended to do more of back when I first started streaming about a year ago. Wow, a year ago. More closer to 9 months or so. Um, but we're going to be doing our very first anime reaction. It's going to be a very special reaction, and I think it's a fantastic anime reaction to start with because I really wanted to do this because this production connects with me in a multitude of different ways, and I'll be talking about each one of them after we react to the film. We are reacting to Ban, but I believe the correct pronunciation is Ban with a longer emphasis on the double A. Otana no Kyokai, or The Boundary of Adulthood. I believe that's the full name. And it is the anime short film created by a name that a lot of us know, which is Gigguk. For those of you in the weeb otaku sphere, you probably have heard of the name Gigguk at least, or follow him to a certain extent. He is an prolific anime YouTuber who does anime content, Japan content. He's expanded as time has gone on, as you do as a content creator. But in general, his first and foremost passion, what he started with YouTube, has been anime content in the form of video essay, analysis, discussion, review, the whole shebang. And he doesn't just do specific anime reviews, he'll sometimes do something a bit more broader, something a bit more general, maybe more focused on the industry as a whole, etc., etc. In general, his content is very good. He's been one of my favorite YouTubers since I discovered him, which was way, way, way back in high school. And in general, please go subscribe to him, go support him on this because I think it is phenomenal and one of the coolest things on YouTube on the entire platform. So just want to get that out there really, really quick. So before we talk about it just a bit more, as always, some housekeeping items. The very first one is going to be, when is the next stream? Next stream is probably going to be this weekend. I am not able to stream tomorrow, and as you guys know, I do not stream on Fridays for the most part. So probably gonna have to wait till Saturday and Sunday, and it's gonna be a return to Zenless Zone Zero. So we'll be back to Zenless. We'll be continuing the story. We'll be continuing doing side content. We'll be doing agent stories, the whole thing. And Lucia is very close, and we will be summoning for Lucia as we are a rupture player with Yishwen, so obviously we have to get her, and also she looks really nice. So that helps a lot, doesn't it? but but yeah, so next stream is probably gonna be this weekend, and it'll be a return to Zenless, and we will mostly be on Zenless Zone Zero until Honkai Star Rail 3.7 comes out. So, and that's really it. That's really the only housekeeping item to address today. As always, the switch to Twitch affiliate is on the horizon. Until I am happy with my stream quality, it won't be, that won't be happening, but I am working on it. I am getting equipment. I am figuring things out, and there's going to be a period of time soon where I will be probably taking a break from streaming to set everything up and to make sure everything is, you know, to what I envisioned, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. So just keep that in mind. That'll be coming soon-ish. Emphasis on the ish. But yeah, so back to the main subject item, which is Bâan. It is the first of its kind, or not necessarily the first of its kind, but one of the first of its kind in the sense that it is a anime project specifically a short film that was conceptualized, produced, and developed by a YouTuber or a content creator or someone who wasn't inherently a part of the industry as their career from the start. Gigguk, he worked, I believe, as an engineer of some kind. There's always the funny joke like, haha, quit your job at the BBC. That's on Trash Taste. I don't quite know the specifics. It's been a while since I watched that podcast. But for, a large part of his life, he's been a content creator. And as he's progressed in his career and as he's grown as a creator, as a as a writer, as a storyteller, his passion it has eventually led him to this opportunity to be able to develop and create his own anime, which is, I imagine, a dream come true for him. And it is a dream that I have had in my heart for a very long time. You know, God bless me in the future, you know, if I ever get the opportunity to create my own anime, I would do it for free. In fact, I would pay to make it happen, which is kind of what Giga did. A lot of this project is self funded. I believe the figure was north of $200,000. And, you know, that is not a small amount of money. And so this is a passion project. And so for him to have gotten this opportunity presented to him to make it reality and to have that be kind of this end result, from a more than a decade of YouTube and being a creator within the anime sphere, reviewing, discussing, analyzing, giving people around the world further insight into this, medium of entertainment that we know and love so much. I mean, it is just amazing for him. I cannot be happier for Giga. He seems like a very good guy, like a really nice dude, very passionate dude, and I can get behind that. I am a very passionate person, and so this anime really speaks to me on multiple different levels, and a big part of that is this being um, a project, a short film that was created after what I feel is a very special journey. So let me make one thing very clear before we jump in. I have watched this already. In fact, I've watched this three times. I watched this first blindly in English. I watched the English dub, then I watched it in the Japanese sub, and then I went back and I watched it in English dub again because I was like, this is really good, and I would like to see it again. So that's what happened. I've watched it three times. This will be my fourth time. We are going to be watching it in dub because I believe that is my preferred version. If you like the sub better, by all means. By all means, both are phenomenal. Both are very good. Props to C Dog VA, one of Giguk's friends, who took um took on the voice directing for this project. Very well done, and props also to Giguk's wife, Cindy, who voiced the main character of the film. It is very, very good. So I will be watching it in English, and we'll be watching it, and I'll make small commentary as we go through. We won't be pausing. We won't be taking any breaks. For those of you who watch my gotcha reaction content, you guys know I don't like interrupting a reaction midway through. I believe storytelling has a designated pace that is designated by the creator of the content that you are watching. And so I want to consume it in the pace the creator intended. So no pauses, no breaks. What we'll do is we'll watch it in full in English. And then once it's done, we'll then discuss. We'll go back, use a still image, and talk about things. All of it is going to be positive. There's very little that I disliked about this anime short film. The only criticism I have is the most common criticism amongst, I think, most of the people who have watched this, which is it should have been longer, which is more of a compliment than anything if you think about it. So we'll watch it in full. We'll go back and we'll discuss. So that is usually how we do things. Okay, I have the video pulled up already. It is on Giga's channel. Please go subscribe, like, comment, the whole shebang. And we'll be using our watching videos overlay for the first time in a long time. It's been a while since I've used this because we've kind of transitioned to just using our video game specific overlays for just reaction content in general. So, but yeah, Bâan 2025 anime short film by Gigguk. Let me just make sure that I've got yeah, so I've got the English audio track. I'll keep the quality on auto. Usually it's going to be max, no subtitles because I think the subtitles are meant more for the Japanese sub. And you know what? We are ready to give this a go. In 3, 2, 1. Gigguk presents. Ooh, let me decrease the volume for you guys. Let's put it there.
You want to come along?
I love the design of the tower, which is the device that is seemingly being used to send people from what I assume to be Earth to and from different worlds. Visually, it's just so grand and spectacular.
At Euthagnia, you'll discover monumental history and miracles that only occur once every 200 years.
The Naga is beautiful, isn't it?
I don't get it. What's he thinking?
We are now arriving at Floor 1. Floor 1. Please be sure to take all your belongings with you when departing. The Cosmo liner is running on schedule.
I'm gonna increase stream volume just a bit, guys.
Scheduled to take place at
Seriously?
8:15 p.m.
I really wish you would quit going through my PC.
Activate at 9 o'clock.
I'm headed out now. See you, Dad.
If you're observant, you'll realize
What?
pretty early on that
It's a threat level
character
2
that we saw
zone.
earlier going to the tower is the same character that we just
This
saw
is Floor 2.
our main character
Floor
make
2.
eye contact with.
Please be sure to take all your belongings with you when you depart. Thank you for riding with Cosmo Liner.
I know you're worried, but I'll be fine. Have a little faith.
That pretty much confirms it. If you were wondering, is that Daichi? Because we get Daichi's
You have to
name
stay
via
here,
the phone
okay?
earlier.
Promise I'll be back.
Oh, it's so good. That's such a small but intimate scene that I really enjoy. And Kevin Pinkin's OST, phenomenal. Just enhances what we are seeing in front of our eyes to another level.
Thank God you finally answered. Have you read
I'm
any
going
of my
now.
texts?
I'm going now.
You need to come home.
I know you mean well, but you have to let me do this on my own.
This is so exciting!
I'm ready now.
Understood, sir.
And it was around this time when I first watched it when I realized I was going to love this.
Today
Marks the beginning of my new life.
I mean, it's just, I feel like it really resonates with me and I think a lot of other people. Bâan. I'll talk about it more in the discussion, but the theme of this really just hits home. Huh. Pun not intended there. There's me in the morning. That was me this morning. 8 a.m. wake up time. That was fantastic.
Come on. It's here! This way now! Oh, please, come on, please! Okay, let's see here.
I feel your pain, Rin.
13 rejections in a row. This sucks.
I feel your pain for sure.
Lucky number 14. I'm begging, not another rejection. Here goes. Dear applicant, okay? We'd like to inform you you've been accepted. Accepted! Yes! I got accepted!
Oh, bro, I remember my job hunting days. That relief that you feel.
Alright,
Oh my
that's
god,
not bad.
it's another feeling entirely.
I was never one for cooking back home.
Just a moment. It's almost done.
I always wanted to make meals with you. I should have said so.
Thank you for calling customer support. My name is Rin. What can I help you with today?
Yeah, I'm calling about the thing you sold me. Uncle Chunk broke a
And as someone who also worked in customer service once upon a time, I understand your
Could you
pain
please
again,
specify
Rin.
Playing dumb. I want to talk to your manager now.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, sweetie. It's okay.
Huh. Alright. That looks like it. Oh. Oh!
All right. I needed that. It was only day one. I'll do better tomorrow.
This is very,
Seems she's all right for now.
very secretly a good scene, which we'll talk about more later.
So, Daichi, you doing any job hunting?
Not yet.
Your folks run a clinic, right? Think you'll just end up working there?
I don't know. Not if I can help it.
Oh yeah. I will never get tired of Kevin Bacon. Time is moving, things are slowly changing for both of their lives. And you get the impression that maybe for the better for each one of them. But there's a small contrast that we'll see later come to fruition in the film.
I can't go. I won't go back.
God, I love this world, man. Oh, I hope this gets expanded on. Give me a full-length season. 24, 25 episodes. And then a season 2 after that. It's just so inspired. Just look at this.
Have you ever been to a festival this big, Rin? If they have the same yakisoba style as last year, we have to go.
The southeast Asian, I think, visual representation is really strong in this scene that's going to come up here.
Sound. Is there a festival happening?
Like, what is, like, obviously I can like infer a few things off this, but
Here they come!
I want to
To
know more
formation!
about this world. It's very clearly well thought out, and there's so much more that
Protect the egg, okay?
they can give us.
Where's that signal? There! Leave the rest to us! Don't let a single one through!
Yes, sir!
Ursa, what are they doing here?
Also, respect to the animators for this scene in particular.
Rin!
Like, this is a much better action sequence than I would have expected from this. Like, this specifically reminds me of, like, a little bit of Ghibli animation.
Something's not right.
On that day,
On that day. On that day, I found the place where I truly belong. And I would never look back.
The gentle squeeze of the hand.
on that day, I became a burden on Daiichi's shoulders. That's why I can't go back.
You're never a burden.
Right.
It took me a while to realize that as well. Again, I will talk more about that in the discussion. Oh man.
I'm all toasty warm, even though I'm covered in snow. I guess this is what alcohol does, huh?
Look at the cheeks. Squish.
Pretty
Squish, squish.
Show us some of your magic.
No way, I can't. What if people see?
Oh, but no one's gonna notice, and it's not like we're at the office.
Besides, isn't your magic a part of you?
You think so? Then off to the skies I go! Auntie, on?
Why don't you come over? I'm making curry tonight.
I'd be down for some curry. I've eaten.
Let's
eaten
close up
today.
shop early
Yeah.
today.
Sounds good.
Mochi, it's playtime!
Luna, let's go upstairs.
No, I want to stay and play with Mochi.
You can play later.
But I'm not tired at all.
Then how about we play for a while?
Really?
There you are.
Thank you. It's lovely how much fun your family has together.
Another one will be joining us soon.
Oh yes, congratulations.
Daiichi inspired me to come here, if you can believe it. I wasn't originally planning to stay all that long, but now here I am with a family.
I'm so happy for you. You're inspiring me to do the same thing.
It's okay to be honest. Euthanians can't hide our emotions. Our wings give us away.
Which is just
that
a.
reminds me. Here,
I think
entrusted
a
it
certain
to me.
amount of people
I
would
think
have
you
realized
should
it by
listen to
now,
him.
but just that very fact is such a massive, just world building element.
if you're,
Euthanians
watching this
having
right
their
now,
emotions
thought
be
it was the right
displayed
time to show you.
at all times. It's
I'm
a
not sure how long
unique,
it would have been since you moved out.
unique
Maybe
thing,
a week,
unique element of life, I
maybe
guess.
even a year. Are you eating well? You know, I've been cooking my curry a lot, but I keep making way too much for myself because it was always your favorite. Rin, I have no doubt you're working hard, but remember, you don't need to push yourself too hard. You can come home whenever you feel like it, all right?
And there's a reason this is a thumbnail. Because I think that's the key moment of the film. for
I'm
me.
ready to go now.
Understood, Mace.
And you can't end it without having a nice big Kevin Penkin drop. Oh, the Naga is so good, and it's just like majestic and ethereal, and the gentle glow around the edges of each color.
I'm back.
Welcome home, Ren. Ooh, tonight's special's a Euthanian favorite. Dai's famous curry.
It looks amazing.
What do you think?
Nothing beats the taste of home.
It's the best.
Bravo. Take a bow, Gigguk. Garant, maybe I should say. And everyone on screen here will watch through the credits. Well, actually, we're gonna watch through the credits, but I am gonna, because more likelihood this is a song that I cannot display on YouTube without full copyright. But it is astonishing how much quality is jam-packed into, I think it's 19 minutes. Yeah, 19 minutes, just underneath, just a couple of seconds underneath. We'll talk about it in depth, but there's so many little details. This is absolutely an anime you want to watch multiple times, because on each, well, eventually, right, you'll run out of stuff to notice, but on each subsequent watch, you will find some small detail where you're just like, wow, okay, they were thinking about this. And I think that's the main takeaway I have about this whole project, is so much thought and care and attention was put into every second of this anime, and that's all I can ask for as a viewer, right? All I can ask for as a viewer is to know that the storyteller that is presenting me this story wants to do the very best job at communicating their vision to me. I might interpret it differently than they did, and their interpretation is even something I might disagree with, but ultimately I just want to get the clearest picture possible. And I think with the resources he had, Garant Gigguk got it almost perfectly. So we're getting to the end here. Studio Daisy, the director Yoshimitsu Ohashi, probably should have mentioned his name before, so my bad. I focused all on Garant for good reason, obviously. But Yoshimitsu, a big part of the project, and he did an amazing job directing this film. If I remember correctly, I did watch the podcast where Garant. I'll refer to him going forward as Garant because he credited himself as Garant, so I feel like I should be using that word in order to properly recognize him. So I think in the podcast where Garant spoke about a little bit of the behind the scenes of the production of Bâan, he mentioned that Yoshimitsu Ohashi had a myriad of different experiences on working on a whole bunch of different anime projects. I mean, there was some big names on there. I think Full Metal Alchemist and Origami. I think I'll have to go back and go look at his um my anime list page, but very clearly chose a very strong director, and it shows. So, I mean, it's just super good. I don't. Let me make this perfectly clear. I am have a very clear bias towards this project, towards this anime short film. So I'm going to give it a high score. I don't necessarily love rating things on a scale of 1 to 10, but I do think it helps kind of frame the discussion or the review as you go into it. So I'm gonna say it right now, and I'll give more substance to my score later. I think this is an 8 out of 10, and it's very close to a 9. I wish I could give it a 9, but it is just slightly too short. Like I said, more of a compliment than anything. If people say um, they wanted more of your content, your media, your project, that's usually a good sign. Like, it was just too short, I wanted more. Yeah, let me make more for you. Here you go. Give me, like I said, give me an entire season, 25 episodes, 26, like, just, and full on OP, full on ending with these characters, maybe add in a side cast, bring Kevin Penkin back, have Garin be on the production team again, and I am sold immediately. I am so invested in this project, and I think if I were to make a bet, I think this becomes something more. Like, this feels almost like a pilot episode. You know what I mean? Like a proof of concept. So I could see them taking this. Like, this has been fairly successful. I could see a studio or a director. It could be Yoshimitsu Ohashi. Who knows? I could see, with the attention this is garnering, a studio, someone, an executive saying, "Yeah, let's take this and let's run with it." And I think Garin would be absolutely down. I would be absolutely down because there's real passion here. But let's talk about it, right? Let's go through and discuss a lot of little things. So we're not exactly going to go frame by frame as we do sometimes, but there is quite a bit of small details here that are, in my opinion, really, really good. First, let's get it out of the way. The Naga is beautiful. It is animated very well. And one thing I love about this visual, this, mythical beast that they've included within the anime, it's the glow. Like, they didn't just give it vibrant colors. Around its entire body, you've got almost this, like, lantern-ish glow surrounding its form. And I think it does so much to set the tone of the visuals of the anime, because the art direction here is gorgeous, right? I love the art direction here. I would honest if this doesn't continue, like, if Garrett, goes on to a new project and Studio Daisy, goes along with him, please continue with this art style, because it is so nice. It's clean. It's got this, like, almost like smooth, like lazy flow to it. Lazy in a good way, like lazy river-esque, like relaxing almost, like it's flowing to and from. And I think the greatest example of that is this Naga here. So really, really great stuff. Another, so, like I mentioned it as we were reacting to it, this tower is massive, and I would love to know more about this, because it is implied that, the world that Daichi from is Earth, right? A lot of you know the world that we see Daichi from, and the world that Rin stays in. So again, the main characters are named Rin, that is the girl, and Daichi is the older gentleman. The full names are Rimbara. Obviously, my pronunciation probably not correct, and she does have a last name which I forget. It's probably in the credits. Hold on, we can grab the name from the credits here. Rinrada, and then Daichi, and obviously their names are shortened to Rin and Dai. And then the other named character in the film is An, who is the lady who helps Rin come to terms with her emotions later, towards the second half of the film. So going back to the start here, like I said, the tower is amazing. I would love to know its purpose. Is it purely for entertainment reasons? Is there, was there, what are the politics behind it, right? Are there more of these towers in the world, in this version of Earth, right? Um, who owns the tower? Is this a Japanese only tower? Is this like a worldwide thing? Like, there's so much. This is a massive structure. Like, look at the buildings around it. This is a whole ass boat. Like, this is a boat, and it's barely scratching the surface of this tower. So when you have a structure this monolithic, this large, this imposing, there's always going to be a story behind it, right? There's going to be history surrounding, its creation, its conception, and the technology. How did it even get to this point? How far in the future are we? So already, by giving the tower this scale, you're establishing already questions in good world building. So Daichi is heading towards the tower. This is where you get his name reveal, I believe. Yep. Where are you right now, Daichi? And you can tell, he's frustrated with the current state of affairs. He's looking for something new. Again, just the Naga being beautiful, and we saw it earlier, so this isn't something new, but 2 moons. So again, already, this is something that a lot of isekais do, multiple planetary objects, maybe multiple suns, multiple moons. This isn't entirely new, but still interesting, right? Is there a story behind here? What's the history behind this? Does this affect the environment of the planet? Who knows? Just some more cool stuff to add in there. We learn that the other world is called Euthania. I don't necessarily think that's like a special name. I even think Garrett said in the podcast that he just grabbed this name randomly. It probably doesn't mean all too much, which is fine. You don't need to, go too deep into all your naming. But you get Daichi's mom, who, seems to be at odds with what Daichi is doing here. She seems to be searching for him for some reason, who knows. And Daichi is clearly going somewhere for a long period of time because he's got a giant knapsack, and there's little reason to believe that he's going to come back based on the small that small interaction that we had with him earlier, looking at his phone, seeing the text from his mom, and sighing in almost, I don't want to say disappointment, but this like this desperation, I guess. There's a term out there that I think matches his feelings. One key thing to point out here: no other species here. Just all these are all human, which you might think is to be expected. Like, yeah, this is an Earth, right? But it's shown that Rin, Rada, and An are living in Earth, that they have been able to integrate themselves into human life. And another thing is when Rin is shown to be going up the same elevator, I think it's around here. She's also the only, she's the only Euthanian here. So looks like this means one of 2 things. Not a lot of Euthanians come to Earth. Most of them probably stay in their own world. And the few that do come to Earth, probably not a lot of them going back. So the exchange here is mostly humans going to other worlds, right? Not necessarily Euthania, because the way they've set this up, this tower seems to be something that has been around for a while. It seems to have been optimized in a certain extent. There's governance behind the tower, absolutely. So I feel like if it was just to one world, there wouldn't be that much optimization behind this structure. Another thing is, in this scene here where the mom kind of discovers that Daichi is going to a different world. It might not be this scene, but I think it might be like a scene in the future. She says threat level 2, at least in English. In Japanese, I assume it's something similar. Which, if there's a threat level 2, that implies there's a threat level 1, a threat level 3, maybe levels higher than that. And if there's multiple threat levels, that means there's multiple worlds. So this tower, this structure, probably isn't just tied to this one specific world. If it is tied to Euthania and just Euthania, that means that there's other towers in the world of Earth that are maybe connected to a different world. Regardless, it's effectively all but implied and confirmed that multiple worlds exist that Earth's people can travel to. And I would assume vice versa. But who knows? Maybe like a threat level 3 world, maybe that tower doesn't allow, that world's life to come to Earth because they're too dangerous. Or maybe, threat level 1, the life from those worlds you'll see more of in Earth because they're not quite as threatening. They could integrate into society a bit better. Really interesting world building here, and there's stuff littered throughout the entire short film that they can do so much with. Now, they don't necessarily have to, but they could if they wanted to. I would argue that they've set things up that are more important in this short film that they could focus on. So again, Daichi looks at his phone once again. This is pretty much cementing the fact that there is conflict between him and his mother, at the very least, likely him and his parents. Probably a disagreement with the direction he's taking in life. Who knows? But this is where you I think most attentive viewers realize that this isekai, these two characters are not switching. This is different timelines because this is Daichi. Like, this is Daichi. He has the same hairstyle, the same color hair. He's very clearly older. You can see kind of his mouth has a little bit more wrinkle to it as he's smiling. His neck is a bit thinner. Like, this is him. Like, you can tell that, okay, there's a character design from earlier in the film right here that if you were to age Daichi up, there's a good chance. Oh, I thought we were going to get to Daichi. Yeah, if you were to age this character up right here, right? You get this man. Right here. Like, if you were to age him up, this is what he would look like. So, at that point, you're just like, oh, this isn't happening at the same time. It's mirrored, and it was teased during the trailers that this was happening at the same time, but not quite. This is a different type of story. Daichi comes to Euthania first. He, through events we will see later in the film, meets Rin. He takes her in. He adopts her as his daughter. And then Rin later on goes to Earth. So yeah, this is the threat level. Oh, it looks like, I didn't notice this. There's 4 different levels. So Euthania is a level 2, which the mom was concerned about. Like, the mom sounds concerned here. Like, level 2? Like, goddamn. So I can't even imagine level 3 or level 4. Level 4 is like, like you get into like ReZero and the witch cult is like just running around like haphazardly. Like that's level 4 right there. Level 4 doesn't have access to Earth. We've got no tower for level 4. But yeah, so obviously, like, there's like even just this single shot, right? This is the Euthania's this is the world of Euthania, right? Because it's the yellow color matches to the level 2. Here's another continent right over here. So Euthania isn't just one continent. Here's an island. Here's another island. Different continents. You know what that implies? Different cultures from in a different world. So not only is Euthania a different world, there's probably different nations and countries within that world that, again, they could expand on if they wanted to. The very existence of this website is world building. You have got an entire website dedicated to being able to search up the threat levels of different worlds, that people can travel to. So, real governance behind this. So this scene is gorgeous. It's ethereal. Again, I love the tower. And one key thing to see in this scene, because these people are going to a different world, they're packed really light. Like, this isn't a lot to take, right? So people probably are going on vacation here. Like, Daichi is the only one who is really dressed and prepared to go to a different world for a significant period of time, potentially permanently, right? Everyone else here seems like we're just going on vacation. So this could be a threat level 1 world that is connected with Earth in a way, and their life, they could be human, they could be a different life like the Euthanians. Their life has established some type of relationship between worlds where humans come and go on vacation. So again, Daichi here speaks more on his, his inner conflict. Then you get another shot of his older self framing, the difference between when he was young to now where he's older, and he's seeing his daughter make, a similar choice that he did. I love this scene right here because you can see the relationship and that Rin has with the Naga. Like the Naga is, for the most part, I think probably still somewhat adolescent, still obviously more grown than what we see later on. But you can tell that Rin and the Naga have been together, since essentially the Naga's childhood, and they care about one another. The way the Naga leans forward, the way Rin's eyes kind of soften as they embrace, it's intimate, and as she processes the decision that she's about to make, her wings come down and they're not moving anymore. They go still. Clearly, there's emotions here, and if that wasn't communicated by the voice acting and the tone of the anime, you get it here. So Rin starts to fly as she can because she can use magic, and she is going off to Earth. A good scene here. Daichi does answer his mom before he goes to say goodbye, clearly showing that there is some type of, he is not, entirely forsaking his parents here. There's still, a potential, there's still hope for a potential, reconciliation later. It doesn't seem all that hostile. Rather, the relationship seems tense to me. Like there is like disagreement towards, how the parents believe he should be living his life, or maybe specifically his mom, but to where how Daichi believes he should be living his life. Or maybe what is more likely is Daichi doesn't know how he wants to be living his life, and his parents are trying to, give him direction, but potentially doing it in a way that feels forceful. That is something that happens, I think, a lot in modern day society. Is parents see their kid, their child, and the child feels pressured by society, or by school, or they don't know what to do in life. There's a lot of reasons why someone that young would feel pressured, right? And as you grow older, you get to 17, 18, 19, you start getting to the point where you're potentially graduating from high school, or different parts of the world, right? But you're getting to a point where you need to start thinking about your future as an adult. And a lot of people that age, it's really difficult to figure out what you want to do because you're that age. You're very immature. You don't have a lot of life experience. You have no adult, life experience. And so a lot of people will feel lost. They will be looking for some type of direction. And sometimes the parents see that and they're like, you know what? That's my kid. I want the best for them. I care about them. I love them. Let me give them direction. And they're too forceful sometimes. There's a balance you need to strike. Yes, supporting your family during times of difficulty, especially regarding life and its purpose. Um, you want to support them through that, but being too forceful, intervening too much, is going to alienate them. And I think that's what happened with Daichi and his mom, or Daichi and both of his parents. Whereas seems to be Rin seems to be leaving with more. She's obviously emotional based on the scene that the scene that we saw earlier with the Naga. But there's a smile on her face. There's excitement here. She's nervous, but for the most part, this is something that she's been looking forward to, and it shows that Daichi has raised Rin well, has been supportive of her and not too overbearing, likely because he didn't want to repeat the mistakes that his parents made. So Rin is leaving at least on a better foot than Daichi did. So the two go to each other's worlds. Kevin Penkin's score, again, fantastic. This is when I was like, oh, Kevin Penkin's here. You know what I mean? But the tower does its thing. The visual here is super cool. I love kind of the shockwave almost, and it being rainbow, it having a little bit of transparency as well. And we get to see the tower from Euthania's side. So this is the tower from Euthania's side. One thing that's interesting is that this tower is not the same tower that we see on Earth. Like, take a look. Yeah, this is a different tower. This has, it has the same column of light, which seems to be almost like a what's it called? An hourglass. Seems to be almost hourglass shaped, but it's framed by two large half circles of what is likely metal of some kind, whereas the tower in Euthania just has the hourglass. There is no framing of metal here. So, then you start getting into the thought of, oh, did Euthanians build this tower in return to match, the tower on Earth? Was it synced in some way? Or is this even a tower? Is this just some sort of gateway or portal that was created once the humans built their tower and they were able to activate it to go to Euthania? Like, did this just spawn in? So who knows, right? But again, it's massive, right? Like, you get to see, like, this is a mountain range right here. This is taller than a mountain, and it is huge. Not as tall as those mountains in the background, but maybe. So they both arrive. Again, this is framed to be at the same time, but it's not at the same time. And they go off on their respective journeys, trying to make a home for themselves, to give themselves a new life. And there is a title card. And it's a really nice title card. I love the art direction of Bâan, like the colors here. I love the transition from what is this kind of like warmish pink color to what is more of a peach. And then you kind of, the B and the N are more solid, but the A still has that kind of gradient. I mean, it's just really nice. Just really like the colors in this anime. And then you get to the point of the anime where things start to settle. So again, like magic, like cool, right? But we've already seen Rin fly, and we can kind of tell that she's settled into Earth to a certain extent. She's got her own apartment. She's wearing human clothes rather than what we saw her wearing at the start of the film. And she is clearly looking for a job, which, let me tell you, I was unemployed for a decent amount of time at one point before finding my current job, and it fucking sucks. Looking for a job is awful, man. It is horrible. Especially, and this is when you start getting to some of the core themes of this film, which is the difficulties of being an immigrant. So this has multiple different themes that connect with one another. There's the theme of coming of age. There's the theme of leaving home. There's a theme of coming back home. But those themes can also be connected to some more I guess I don't want to say like important, because that's not true. Like what I just discussed is also extremely important just from an emotional perspective. I guess some more realistic themes like immigration. Rin, by many accounts, is an immigrant. In fact, she's an entirely different species. She is not human, right? And she's going to a foreign country. She doesn't have a form of ID, probably. There's probably regulations surrounding her people, right? So who knows if there's, Japan is for the most part a fairly xenophobic country, a tad bit racist. There's a difference between the two, but more xenophobic than racist. Correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, I don't want to say things that are incorrect, but based on my research, seems to be more xenophobia than racism. She's probably experiencing some of that to a certain extent, right? So, and a big part of being an immigrant is finding difficulty integrating into that modern day life within this foreign country or this foreign nation. At the very least, though, we know that she has a place for herself. She has a phone, right? So she's doing somewhat well. She's not homeless at least, but she does get a job here. Another thing that is really cool about the scene is the fact that Rin just does use her magic fairly casually, like in her daily life, which then is foreshadowing for later in her job when she starts to use magic. It's difficult for her to stop. Like, she's flying here, right, out of excitement. I like this scene quite a bit because it shows that not just Rin is doing well in her new life, but Daichi as well. But you do get the scene here where you get to see the mom and Daichi cooking together. And this is kind of the start of where you start to get the sense that Daichi likes to cook. And it's something consistent across the whole film. Daichi likes to cook. There's obviously, at the end of the film, his Dai's famous curry. But he is cooking, he cooks for Rin. He is cooking for what is seemingly the village, because he seems to have some type of leadership position within the village. He's cooking here as soon as he got to the world. He's looking for, later in the film, you see him looking for plant life to make recipes, I assume. And I think a big reason why he likes cooking is because as a kid, he and his mom seemingly bonded over this. And he even says here that he wishes he'd been able to have more experiences like this that we see here on our screen with his mother. So I think again it shows that his mom and him weren't necessarily hostile towards one another, just tense and distant. And I don't think there was anything necessarily, I don't think he left with bad blood. I think he left with regret. He left with a wish that their relationship could have gone different. So I appreciate this scene, and also it sets up, that Daichi likes to cook throughout the film, which we do see often. Again, we see Rin here settling into normal Japan life. This is the first instance that we see of her struggling to integrate herself, particularly when it comes to her magic. Right, she ends up in a tense situation, and her instinctual reaction is to make a motion with her hand, and it destroys her headset and the headsets of those around her, and she feels ashamed. One thing that is very particular about this scene is that throughout the majority of the film, let me find Rin's wings are colored like this. So when she is happy, she is mostly pink. So for example, and I think this is very subtle. In this scene right here, she's just woken up, and she just got notice from what she anticipates to be a job offer, or a decision on her application. So she hasn't been influenced yet. Her wings are still mostly pink. As soon as she gets the rejection, her wings get a bit darker here. They're still pink, but they're leaning more towards purple. Once you get to the call center scene right here, again, they're still somewhat pink, but this is a little bit of purple. Like, this isn't entirely pink. And you start to get the sense that, oh, I see what's going on here. Her wings change depending on how she feels. So I'm not sure what emotion, purple is supposed to communicate here. Maybe shame, or disappointment in oneself, guilt, who knows. Again, here's the scene that I was referring to earlier with Daichi foraging for plant life. And again, she's crying here. Her wings are purple, still a little bit of pink, but not quite to what we will see later. She's crying, and then she lifts herself up, and this is the first scene that we get to see with An. So immediately you see that An's wings are reddish, pinkish, right? Which implies, based on the connection that we saw earlier with Rin's wings being more pinkish, that there's something different, right? And you get to see that two different wings on the same screen that are different color. At this point, you start to realize that, yeah, absolutely, the wings are tied to their emotions. So I like the scene a lot because An is obviously out for Rin, probably at Daichi's request. Like, hey, please look out for my daughter. Makes sense. One cool thing about this is Daichi's phone. Or maybe not Daichi's phone, but wherever Daichi's message for Rin was later in the film. She's holding onto it here, like, okay, is this the right moment for me to go show this to Rin? But Rin picks herself up. She's able to kind of recompose herself, and you can kind of see An putting it away. She kind of tucks it back into her pocket. More Daichi cooking. You get to kind of get a little bit more insight into his struggles as a youth, and kind of looking for a job, finding purpose in life. And again, you now go through this montage of the Chu integrating themselves into Japanese culture. Rin's wings are pink again. You get the shot of these three ladies. The surrounding area does seem to be a workplace, so you get the sense maybe co-workers, right? Here you get to see On of in and Euthania for the first time. Meeting Daichi is implied, and so you get the sense like, oh yeah, they've had a they're close, they've had a deep relationship for a while. The Naga being beautiful once again. Again, Rin still struggling to integrate, or maybe she is integrated fully, but she doesn't like her job. More development, more character depth, more dynamics between On and Daichi. Again, just building up the the fact that they're close, that On is looking out for Rin. Then Rin is now here with the three girls that we saw earlier. She's made friends with her coworkers, and things seem to be going well. So again, this is On taking Daichi to the village, which introducing him presumably, and things are for the most part going well. But this is the first sense that you get that okay, I think potentially Rin might not be happy. Like of we've gotten hints of Rin struggling to integrate into her new life, but not necessarily that she's unhappy with it. She's just struggling because she's an immigrant for the most part. But you get this small shot of the girls that we saw earlier, her friends, her coworkers. They've gone back home. They're spending time with their family, presumably during some type of holiday. And Rin is a part of this group chat, and she's seeing this, and she makes a small comment, and also her friends call it out here. But she makes a small comment that she can't go back. Again, On is looking out for her. She's pregnant now. Time has passed. It's been a significant period of time, and we get a really cool shot here of Euthania and the main village around the tower of Euthania. Look at this. You got this color wing, you've got green wings here, you've got purple wings here. The architecture of the village is mostly, it isn't that advanced, but it seems like it's still, very peaceful. So in general, you get the sense that this world is very different, but has a very specific culture. Which, if you couldn't tell that, at this point, I don't know what to tell you. More Naga scenes of just Naga being ethereal and beautiful and just amazing in every which way. I mean, just look at this. Oh my god, it's amazing. And then you get a scene that if things were getting slow for you, it'll pick you up here, but it's an action scene. Right here is the biggest difference for Rin's wings that you see in the film. These are obviously purple. There is no pink here. These are just straight up purple, which means that her wings are slowly getting more blue. And we see later when On, reveals the fact that their wings are attached to their emotions. Blue signifies sadness, which makes sense, like tears, water, blue. So her wings are going from pink to purple to later blue. She is in process of her emotions transitioning from excitement and giddiness and joy of being in a new world, in an unfamiliar place, and being able to build a new life for himself, to missing home, realizing that she doesn't fit, that this isn't what she expected or wanted. She hears the drums at the festival. Presumably, you get a flashback to a younger Rin. You get this scene here. This scene, for the most part, I think we're gonna skip through it. We're gonna skip through the most of it, but a lot of really cool world building here. This is a Naga. We get to see the Naga again. We get to see more of the clothing of Euthania, which is obviously Southeastern Asia inspired. There seems to be some type of ritual here to signify the moment of what seems to be the Naga passing. Maybe not passing, but the Naga like almost goes through some, I don't know what to call it, like metamorphosis of some kind, who knows, but it integrates itself into the village via this large tree, tower, etc. It very clearly is giving birth, and so that implies, when Nagas reach the end of their lifespan, do they give birth, or is this the Naga reincarnate, right? Like, who knows? Like, these are questions and stuff that they've set up that we can get answers to in the future. But it's just, it's like very, very specific world building that respects the audience who wants to go and find these things. And also for the audience that, doesn't necessarily like care too much about going deep into the weeds and finding these details, right? you can still get a good idea of what is happening, right? But anyway, the what seems to be an important figure of the village, she was the lead dancer of the ritual that we saw earlier. She gives the larva, what I'll call it a larva or larvae, could be an egg as well, who knows, to a younger Rin and tells her to, hey, get the fuck out of here. Shit's about to go down. And shit does go down. We get to see is like some reptilian creature, monster. We get to see like this monster right here, which is just beautiful, right? Very nice looking monster. Very obviously a force of nature. Like this thing just swallows up the old Naga like it's nothing. Like in a few seconds, the military force of whatever this village is not able to stop it. And this is when she meets Rin. Also, I love it when anime have a very like have a scene that's really short but has a completely different gradient of color to it as opposed to what we've seen up until now. Like it just really captures your focus. Like we know, oh, they meet here. Like this is the main relationship, the main character dynamic of the entire film, and this is where they meet. So obviously, something happens. Whether that is, whether this is a natural event within Euthania, this is something to be expected, right? Every time a Naga gives birth or reincarnates, or whatever, do those monsters always attack? Who knows? Or was this some type of freak accident, right? Was this something that should is difficult for them to process? Like, is this going to cause a significant form of grief? Obviously, if this is a regular occurrence, people are still going to grieve, right? But they can't expect it, right? But if this was a freak accident, like a force of nature of some kind, then this hits even harder, right? You get to see Rin. Supposedly, her parents have been lost. Her wings are just entirely blue here, just pure sadness. She's crying, and Daichi is holding her hand. And this is the moment I think he realizes that he's found where the place that he belongs. Also, baby Naga, super cute. Super, super cute. I mean, just look at this thing. It's adorable. I want to plushie of this. And you get to see Daichi's resolve here when he squeezes her hand. He's like, I need to stay here, and I'm going to take care of this kid, and she's going to become my daughter, and I have this responsibility now. I'm not going back. And he makes that decision right here and now. Flash forward, Daichi's older, just slightly older. You can kind of tell because Rin is slightly older, I think. And you can kind of see Rin reminisce about this, and she says that she's a burden on Daichi, which it's so sad, but it's so powerful because for those of you who have left home in some capacity, I've left home once really for a majority period of time for college, and then I also left home for a smaller period of time to go spend time in a different country with my grandparents. For those of you who leave home, especially if you have a good relationship with your parents. If you don't have a good relationship with your parents, it's a different story. But if you do have a close relationship with your parents and you leave home, as you mature, you start to get these feelings of like, man, my parents really took good care of me. What can I do to repay them? Or, what can I do to not be as much of a hassle to them, a burden to them? And it's something that I think that's difficult to process, right? Because you realize everything your parents have done for you, and you start to feel a little bit of guilt. But as you grow even older and you start to mature, you realize that you shouldn't feel guilty. You should feel blessed and grateful and joyful that you have such loving parents that are looking after you. It's not a burden on them. They want to do this. At least good parents want to. Like I said, bad parents or bad relationship, different story entirely. Like it really sucks that there's a lot of families out there that don't get to feel this emotion that Rin is feeling. Daichi is a good father. He's a great father, and the fact that Rin is able to feel his emotions just shows that. Anyway, her wings, again, fully blue, the same color as when her fucking parents died. Like, her parents died, probably, and her wings were entirely blue. Like, she is not doing well. You can kind of see this. This is probably after work or something, but she is sad, and we can clearly see that. And so she's trying to convince herself that she's not sad, right? She's still doing her work, and after work, she gets drunk. She's like, you know what will help me with my sadness? Alcohol. And yeah, sometimes you need an escape from reality. For sure. You get cute Rin with squishy cheeks. Thank God for this shot because this is so adorable. I'm just look at her. But you can kind of see that she's going through the motions of her daily life and her wings are blue. There's no smile here. We get a shot like this earlier during the montage, I think. It's not quite here. Is it here? Yeah, right here. Like, take a look at this, right? This shot, no smile whatsoever. The light in her eyes, it's gone for the most part. Wings are blue. Then you go here. Oop, not quite. Smile, the lights in her eyes, her wings are out, they're stretched out, they're pink. She's using her magic. Like, things are so different now. She's not using her magic here. She's just cooking normally. She, like this, and the lights are dimmed out. Like, you can tell things are different. And so she starts to fly because, one, she's drunk, right? Or tipsy at the very least. And it's probably a form of expression here that she misses her home. On, as you know, an adult, and as an adult, probably, asked by Daichi to look after Rin, she knows that now is a moment. Now is a moment to, go to Rin, to have a conversation with her, to show her the video, because On realizes, okay, yeah, I think it's, I think it's time to intervene. And what On is doing here is she's not necessarily trying to convince Rin to come home. Neither is Daichi. What On and Daichi are doing here is just telling Rin it's okay. You can choose what you want to do in life, but don't feel like you are stuck to one path, right? If you feel like you made a mistake and you want to come home, that's fine. And you can kind of see like this thought process in Rin. Like she feels like she's a burden to Daichi, and she's come to this world that she's completely unfamiliar to, and she's managed to integrate herself in society for the most part, but she's unhappy with it. She doesn't feel like this is where she wants to be, but she's trying to convince herself of that fact because of the fact that she doesn't want to be a burden to Daichi. And so she says that here On, very specifically calls it out. This is when it's directly stated that your wings will reflect your emotions, but we knew that at this point. And then she pulls out the phone and shows Rin Daichi's video. And again, the message here is not, hey, you should come home, right? The message here is it's okay to come home. It's not a recommendation. It's definitely not an order. It is just a openness, a show of, hey, you can make any decision you would like. Don't feel like you are locked into this choice that you've made. If you want to come home, you can come home. If you want to stick where you're at right now, you can stick where you're at now. Whatever you choose to do, I will support you as a parent, as your father. And it is the best thing that a parent can tell you. And like, look at the way Daichi's communicating this message. He's smiling. His voice is really soft. Alex Lay, I talked about Sydney earlier on and how she did a fantastic job at voicing Rin. Alex Lay did an amazing job voicing Daichi. It is really good. But Alex Lay is supremely talented, so we all knew that already. Rin starts to cry because she realizes I fucking love when storytellers decide to do this. When a character is experiencing a wave of an emotion and the emotion is expressed through like movement of their body, like, because they're overwhelmed, they don't know what to do. Like, it could be like one of my favorite scenes in Violet Evergarden. Violet Evergarden spoilers, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you haven't watched Violet Evergarden and you plan to, click away now. I'm going to talk about spoilers. Okay. In Violet Evergarden, the movie, so, the movie that ends the entire series, when Gilbert and Violet reunite, and I'm just using this as an example for those of you who have watched Violet Evergarden. When Gilbert and Violet reunite at the end of the movie, Violet is sobbing. She is crying. She's overwhelmed. She is experiencing so many different emotions of joy, a relief, probably even some emotions of sadness and nostalgia, just everything right at once. And she starts to she curls up she tries to talk because Gilbert asks her to stop crying or to say something. And she tries to, and she's unable to because she's just overwhelmed by emotion. And she curls up her hand in a fist and she just starts lightly kind of tapping her fist against her leg in like a rhythm. Like I don't know what to do. I can't handle this emotion. I need to move. I need to do something. God, I love that. I love that so much, and it happens here with the way Rin nods. Like she's nodding as she's crying, but it's not just a nod. It's like a little rock back and forth, like an acknowledgement of like what Daichi wants to communicate to her. It's just so good. She is her wings are pink once again. She is dressed in Euthanian clothing and fashion, and she is going back home, likely permanently. And you want to know another cool detail about the scene? She's not taking a lot back with her. Like this is just one bag. This is pretty much the same amount of stuff that she took to Earth, which goes to show she didn't really have anything of significant attachment here. She is going back home. She didn't find anything here on Earth that she felt, she really wanted to keep. There's probably a few things, right? It's not like she's taking nothing back, but she knows that this isn't where she belongs. She goes back to the tower goes bing, and you get this amazing scene where Rin is back in Euthania and she starts running. Um, the color is like has this like almost pink filter behind it, just to again show to reflect the emotion of happiness and joy that she's feeling. She starts running, she's smiling, she's back home, and she bursts into the air, her wings stretch high, and she just starts laughing. I think she's laughing. We don't get to hear it because Kevin Pinkett's OST is just slapping super hard. You get a little bit of connection. There's a little bit of connection that she has to Earth, right? Here's her saying goodbye to An and her family. Another really nice scene that we see here in just a moment is Rin actually goes to Daichi's parents and returns, I believe is Daichi's phone. We'll see it here in just a bit. Again, the Naga is beautiful. Yeah, here we go. So Daichi's phone, she gives it back, and they're much older, right? Which again, the passage of time. But look at her smile. She's grateful for this. She's come to terms with the decision her son made. She's happy to see Rin. Who's to say that Daichi and his parents didn't reconnect? Who's to say that Daichi didn't decide to visit Earth? Right? There's a lot that they could do here to expand on this story specifically. But you can tell that whatever tension there was is now gone. Which time heals all wounds. Rin flies back to her village with Naga. Again, the Naga, gorgeous. Can't say it enough. And she goes into the village. One interesting thing here is Daichi is cooking here with magic, I believe, because he says a specific word that doesn't necessarily sound like English. So again, this world probably has its own language. If not its own language, at least words of magic, which is a very popular fantasy trope to have. So more world building here. Also, the fact that seemingly Daichi can use magic. He is originally from Earth, right? But he seems to be using magic here. So apparently, if you're a human and you're from Earth and you go to Euthania, can you learn to use magic? Supposedly, who knows? Just really, really cool stuff here. And Rin comes back home. She sees Daichi. She says, "I'm back." And Daichi is not necessarily shocked, but there's a little bit of surprise here, right? But immediately it's a smile, it's a welcome back, and he doesn't make a scene out of it. It is just natural for him because this is the emotion that he wanted to communicate to Rin. He will always be here for her. He will always be a home for her, and she can come back to him as many times as she wants to. And you can tell, obviously, this is what he shows, but you can tell that he is just joyful. He is just relieved. He is experiencing every bit of emotion that parents feel when their child comes back. And you get their hut. He's cooking his famous curry, which looks delicious. I'm really fucking hungry. Dai's famous curry. And I love this scene because again, you get a little bit of what I was talking about earlier, right here. She starts slapping her cheek or like patting her cheek and just smiling. Oh, I love when stories do that, or when anime do that, or really what any visual storytelling medium does. When a character is feeling some type of emotion and there's movement that reflects and that shows that. God, I love it. Another thing I love here, she's kept a few things from Earth. She's a changed person. This movement right here with her spoon, this is chopsticks. She's moving her spoon as if she's using chopsticks. So yeah, she went to Earth. She experienced life on Earth, realized it wasn't for her, but still came out of it a changed person, probably a better person, and she's got a better stance on life now, better perspective. Maybe she appreciates her home, world a bit more. And then the anime ends with the Naga flying around the main village and the tower where seemingly the Naga, connects to. And it's just beautiful. You get to see the tower in the background here. And that's where it ends. And it is so good. And there's so much here. So many small details that I love. And now I can talk about why this anime really connects with me as we get to close to an hour and a half. Which, if you know me, I ramble a lot. So everyone in my imaginary audience who watches me regularly, they know that this isn't a surprise. I just ramble. But I've implied this many times before. I have a very close and loving relationship with my parents and my little brother. So I have a little brother, my mom and my dad, and I love them to death. They're close. I'm 20-minute drive away, and that will remain consistent in my entire life. I will be close to them, physically and emotionally. I love them. They love me. And we support each other as much as we can, and we understand each other. And to me, family is important. It's the most important thing in my life. It is what I will always prioritize. Um, but there was a point in time where I was young, I was stupid, I was foolhardy, and I wanted to leave. I wanted to go be independent. Right? I am independent currently. Um, but I was younger. I was going to college, and I wanted to leave. I wanted to go be on my own and experience life on my own, and so I did. And it wasn't that far. It was far enough to where I wasn't seeing my family regularly. I was living on my own, but it wasn't that far. But even that, I quickly realized that no, this isn't what I want. I want to be close to them. I want to be able to see them. I want to be able to talk to them and love them and be there for them and experience what life has to offer with them. And I would visit home a lot, and every time I visited home, I would get emotional. I would feel like this is where I want to be, this is where I belong. I don't necessarily feel like I have a specific like place to belong, like a location. To me, home is my family, and a big part of this anime is that yeah, I think part of Rin's homesickness is the fact that she feels alienated within Earth's culture, that she wants to go back to the life that she lived in Euthania. But a big part of it is that she misses her father. She misses Daishi. Daishi was home to her. And that really just that speaks to me. And the scene where Daishi tells her it's okay to come back home, and she starts crying. This one right here, God, I mean this got me when I watched it for the first time. Each time I watch this, it still gets me because I know exactly what she's feeling here, and it's so powerful. And I really, really love the fact that Garrett chose this message to tell within the story. On top of all the other amazing messages, like the difficulties of being an immigrant, um, you know, there's a lot, and just the fact that he was able to take all those different themes, condense it within 19 minutes of storytelling, and get a team together that understood his vision and created the visuals, created the music to enhance and accompany his story and his writing, and then find a director who was able to piece it all together. I mean, that is just, to me, that is beautiful. That fact that this person you know uploaded a video to YouTube one day, just reviewing Bleach as an anime, and kept at it because that was his passion. He loved anime. He still loves anime. At least I think, right? I don't want to speak for Gar, but he kept doing this thing because he loved this, this hobby. Anime to Garant, I feel like is what anime is to me. It's not just a hobby; it is a passion, and he kept doing it. And fast forward over a decade later, who knows how long Garant's been doing YouTube? Right? It could be 2 decades now. I don't know, but he's been doing it for a long time, and he's kept anime in his life this entire time. And he got an opportunity to make his own, and he got the team together, and he put everything he had into it: time, money, effort. He probably had multiple sleepless nights just trying to make these 20 minutes happen. And for it to come out like this, to be as high quality that it is within 20 minutes, I went to my anime list and I saw someone give this a 6 and a 3. I was like, what the fuck? How could you watch this and and not and not see the beauty behind it? Even if you don't connect with the themes of this anime short film, you can very obviously see there is themes here that are communicated well and that are communicated with strength and power and emotion. It's not a masterpiece. Like I said, I'd give this an 8. I wish I could give it a 9, but I can't. But if this got a full season, I'd give this a 9 for sure. If it just had more time, if this was a full length feature film, 2 hours, an hour and 40 minutes, this is a 9, maybe a 10, because it is the care and attention put into it deserves it. So bravo to Garant, bravo to Yoshimitsu, right? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Yeah, Yoshimitsu Ohashi, and bravo to Studio Daisy and the team behind this. It is a form of art that touched me. It touched many people, and I hope that Garant continues to make anime because this is where he belongs. Anyway, so I know I got really serious there. Let's go ahead and switch over to just chatting here, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream. I know I got really serious there, but that's, I think, what you should expect from me regarding anime reactions going forward. When I react to video game, when I'm playing through games, or when I'm reacting to content about games, occasionally I do get this serious, this focused, this hyper fixated. But there is enough stimulus to where I can get more humorous, more hyped, I guess. And I can take on a bit of a different tone than what I took on here. So, and because I've done mostly video game content up until now, this might have been a different side of me that you haven't seen before. But like I said before, anime is my passion. It's one of my many passions, and I love it as a form of storytelling. And when I watch something like Bâan, and I see someone else creating uh, a work of art with as much passion as I approach anime with, it really connects with me. And so I'm going to, it's not just Bond, right? There's many other anime that I feel this serious about and this passionate about. And so maybe in the future we'll react to those anime. We'll react to something that I haven't seen before, and we can create a new experience in that way. But yeah, I guess the main takeaway from this is I loved Bond. I think it's really well made. I think it really connected with me. And if by some miracle, Garant, Gigguk, if you're watching this, well done. Bravo. It makes me happy to see your dream, especially as someone who has watched you for so long. And I think you hit it out of the park, my friend. So, like I said at the start of the stream, next stream is probably going to be this weekend. It's going to be a return to Zenless Zone Zero. We can continue the main story. I think we have a few agent stories that we have to do still, so we'll probably do those first, and then we'll go back to the main story, and we're gonna try to wrap up season 1 before Honkai Star Rail 3.7 comes out. So that'll be this weekend, and we should have a good time with it. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Everyone in my imaginary audience, anyone who might be watching the VOD after, appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you may be. Take care, guys, and peace, light.